Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. So I know some of you have early flights to leave directly for. I hope you found that interview with the Surgeon General as inspirational as I did. Yeah, really amazing, just tremendous. I think this perhaps is one of my favorite parts of any symposium because we get to really draw attention to some people who've made a real difference in the life of this movement and who have really inspired our own core team at Total Worker Health, the 15 people who meet every week, every other week to move this agenda forward from our NIOSH perspective. But I know they've made a difference in the lives of so many people here. We have the Total Worker Health Founders Award that we'll start with today. And this Founders Award recognizes the efforts of our original founder of the Total Worker Health movement, Dr. John Howard, who you met on Wednesday. He, as we've said, in 2010, 2011, coined the phrase Total Worker Health. And by 2014, we had trademarked and obviously off to the races, as you know. So with that, and with limited time, let's go ahead and get started with our first Total Worker Health Founders Award. The first award goes to someone who really could be called the mother of this movement, the mother of Total Worker Health. An inspirational spark, a nurturer of Total Worker Health. If there ever was one of those people, it would be this individual. Words like warmth, sincerity, meticulous are perfect descriptors. An extremely capable researcher, this person has given us credibility for our movement from the very beginning. And honestly, credibility that we had not yet earned, but our association with her early on gave us a huge head start. For decades, she has advanced the highest quality research and set the absolute standard for our field for research in total worker health. For your inspirational and early foundation laying and lifelong service to worker well-being, we are honored to award the Total Worker Health Founders Award for 2022 to Dr. Glorian Sorensen. Couldn't be happier to have you here. I'll hold this and you're welcome to make a few remarks.
Thank you. Wow, I'm stunned. So I had a little bit of a heads up that I was going to get an award, but no one told me what. So that's just very, very touching. And I'm very impressed with your comments and moved. Thank you. This has been quite a journey. It's been a collective journey. I have been extraordinarily honored to work with an amazing crew of people, with the Total Worker Health team under your leadership and under the leadership of Dr. Howard, with whom we've worked for so many years. And his vision for Total Worker Health has been phenomenal. I'm amazed to have been able to work with our team within our center, and also with the amazing cadre of other centers who are contributing to this incredible amount of work that's coming out of this. I feel like this symposium has truly been an acknowledgement and a recognition of our collective effort. We've gone from this really little nascent field where there wasn't even a name for it to recognizing that this is an opportunity for multidisciplinary dialogue around an important issue that we all hold dear to our hearts, that is worker safety, health, and well-being. Together in that multidisciplinary way, we've understood that working conditions truly matter, and that what matters that we pay attention to disparities, and that it matters that we look at the systems in which worker health is embedded in a broad way. This symposium has been outstanding. I've really been impressed with all of the conversations that have come out of this. And it has really pointed to where we have been and also where we are going. The pandemic has made, as we've talked about, such an enormous difference in how work is organized and how we as researchers can approach all of this. So people know that I'm slowly kind of in a semi-retired status now. I'm still very committed to our work in the center. I'm excited to be a part of where this is going. I'm excited to see where it heads in the future, and excited to continue this effort, our committed vision of total worker health. So thank you. I am deeply honored. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Dr. Sorensen. Let's keep going. This next award is highly personal for me. When I first joined NIOSH as a bit of an outsider, this person was really influential in my path into and through NIOSH over the past 15 years or so. I had risen up through the ranks of CDC, and while I'd practiced occupational medicine for many years, I was not yet a NIOSH insider, nor nearly as savvy with principles of worker-centered approaches to the field that I was in, especially around work organization, stress prevention, some of those softer elements that are increasingly more and more vital to the way our field progresses. This passionate researcher generously shared his lifetime of knowledge and advice with me for his kindness, his patience, and so many other quiet, unassuming instructions, and even today, his continuing counsel and mentorship. I think he's joining us remotely, so I'm really happy to say this award, this Total Worker Health Founders Award for 2022 goes to who I believe is the preeminent occupational health psychologist in the nation, Dr. Steve Sauter. We'll make sure he gets this award. He was slated to move to Florida, to the very city where the hurricane struck. So that has made a change in his plans. So we will definitely get the award to Steve. Our next award recipient is one of a kind. I've had an amazing 12 or 13 years at NIOSH to spend with this person. And there's no individual who's been a more steadfast supporter and facilitator for moving total worker health from an idea to something quite sustainable and promising for the long term. She's engineered the total worker health workforce development and capacity building efforts that guarantee the youth, the evergreen relevance, and the vigor of our emerging discipline. For your tireless optimism, your unflappable dedication, and inspirational leadership, we award this founder's honor to Dr. Adele Childress. This was a surprise to Adele. Even though she helped us with the awards committee, we were really happy that we could do this under the radar. So thank you, Adele.
It is truly an honor, and thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure working with Casey. I mean, he is, to me, the face of total worker health, not only in just everything he does with his partners and everything, but personally as my boss. And I tell him, I love my job. Thank you.
Oh, very nice. Okay, one more Total Worker Health Founders Award. This next recipient is driven by passion and a deep sense of purpose related to our work together. Her career has largely been about worker advocacy and empowerment. She believes that workers are our best teachers, and what matters to them is what really should matter to us. Her groundbreaking research and dissemination around participatory approaches, again, keeping workers at the very center of important decision-making, has influenced me personally and certainly our program professionally. Now, every talk I give has a theme of participatory approaches. I met this award winner for the first time for a serious talk in an airport coffee shop early on in the Total Worker Health movement. And I still recall the infectious energy, deep commitment, and the invaluable advice. Our program could have failed very early on, largely because of my greenness, if you will, to this space. But it was her wisdom and her continuous pep talks and words of warning and correction when needed. All those things changed me, and that advice has brought our program a serious path to success. Please join me in thanking the next 2022 Founders Award recipient, Dr. Laura Panett.
My goodness, that's a lot to live up to. 16 years ago, I was satisfied to be a musculoskeletal disorder epidemiologist, thinking about ergonomic exposure assessment methods and could we disentangle the effects of physical from psychosocial hazards. And then NIOSH issued this funding announcement and what John Howard on Wednesday morning called a crazy idea. And I thought, I don't do health promotion. I'm not going to have any connection to this. And then Martin Cherniak called me up and said, we have to go in on this together. And obviously, to make a long story short, to my surprise and excitement, we were selected for funding in that first round. And we put together an absolutely phenomenal interdisciplinary group that has lasted for well over a decade with just an extraordinary level of commitment and enthusiasm and trust and ability to learn from each other and share insights and pull each other along. The first three centers, Iowa and Harvard and CPHNU, we pulled forces to write a white paper, which I've been thinking about this week, because that was quite a while ago, where we were, I think, kind of dreaming up how this might all be bigger than the specific aims in our various grant applications. And some of those ideas are materializing here and now under the leadership of Casey and Adele and others. And of course, with the center leadership and all of the people who are involved in those research activities. There are some other ideas like a consolidated clearinghouse for tools and instruments that still haven't come to fruition. So there's my nudge, but we can keep hoping. But I certainly never imagined this breadth of interest nationally and internationally, or the variety of research questions and strategies that are represented in all of the work that we've been hearing about this week. So it's really a tremendous honor to be recognized as having played any role in this. And thank you very, very much for the honor.
Excuse me.
Oh.
So before you go,
Changing plans here.
before we move on, we have one more Founders Award to award.
Someone who is no more deserving than Casey, with his vision, with his hard work, with his willingness to stop and listen to everything that people have to say and hope to solve their problems. Just such a giving person. So we would like to dedicate this award to Dr. Casey Chosewood.
Completely shocked. I was on the awards committee, okay? These discussions did not occur. This award belongs to the core team at NIOSH. They are the most dedicated people I've ever worked for. This is the best job I've ever had because of people like Adele. If you're on our core team and still in the audience, I know we had quite a few join remotely, please stand up because this is your award. And thank you guys very much. Are there any more surprises? Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we are down to our last few awards, but really meaningful ones. So I want us to get through just a few more. This next series of awards are called Total Worker Health Star Awards, and they're really dedicated to people who've made a significant contribution through an event, an activity, a program, a project, something that we really believe incrementally moves the program forward, not just in small bites, but big steps that really move the effort forward. And we call these the Total Worker Health Star Awards. We're naming 4 of them this year. First, I would like to award the first one to Dr. Sarah Tamers for her poised, professional 8 years of service to NIOSH. Sarah is not with us today. She left NIOSH very recently to become the chief of staff at the American University of Paris. That's closer to home and where she spent much of her life. So she's extremely happy to be back in Paris. But for her contributions through the program, we felt it important, even though she's not here, to recognize her. She will see this presentation. So please join me in giving a round of applause for Dr. Sarah Tamers. The next award, Total Worker Health Star Award recipient for 2022, was really one of the earlier adopters of total worker health, especially in the applied setting. This person is part of an organization that's taken total worker health and moved it more aggressively, more rapidly into a community that she serves, perhaps more than any other person in the history of applied total worker health. As part of a large state's primary provider of workers' compensation, this individual has really become a meta influencer around total worker health. So the projects and processes that they put in place are training and making programs relevant and available to every employer in their state through the infrastructure of the workers' compensation insurance program. They reach 70% of employers in this state. They have an important MOU with Oregon OSHA, with our center in Oregon, our Total Worker Health Center in Oregon, and this insurer. So on behalf of our team, the whole conference, please join me in thanking Liz Hill from the SAFE Corporation.
Well, I was asked to make some brief remarks, and I'll make them very, very brief. First of all, I think many of you remember Deb Carlson, and she was the person that introduced me to Total Worker Health 6 years ago. And you know, what a journey and a growth period it has been for me professionally, but also I'm really happy to say for SAFE in the state of Oregon around Total Worker Health. And, you know, there's so many of you in this room and that are probably listening that have had a huge influence on how I think about total worker health, how I use total worker health research in the work that I do. And I love my job. I think I have the best job in the world. And I'm just really so fortunate and privileged to be part of this work. And, you know, my heart is here in this work. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that we can get as many organizations actually doing total worker health practice as I can. And with that, I just want to say a few special thank yous to folks that have really coached and mentored me over the past few years. And first, from CPH New, Serena Rice and Suzanne Nobrega. From the Harvard Center, Lisa Burke and Jack Dennerlein. From Oregon, everyone at the center, but most importantly and impactfully, Dee Dee Montgomery. You know, it's really been my privilege, Dee Dee, to work with you the past 4 years. She's a dear friend and a great partner in crime. So thank you very much. I'm very honored.
Okay, real quickly. Okay, we have 2 left. Thanks for hanging in here with us. Really just unbelievable opportunity for me to bring these people on stage and thank them for what they've done. This person is competent with a capital C, always positive, very patient, highly capable. She's been the ship captain of this entire conference from the beginning to the end. Please join me in thanking the next Total Worker Health Star Award recipient for 2022, the conference leader, Courtney Cuff.
I was the one person who said I didn't need to make any remarks. I want to thank you all for being here, for being online. This has been so much fun, such a learning opportunity, and we just have the most amazing team, and you all are such amazing individuals in a wonderful field. So thank you.
Last but absolutely not least in any way, this person also unflappable, a word that comes up quite a bit in my mind when I think about the tenacity, the vision, the drive, the spirit that this person brings to our movement. She's entrepreneurial, she's big picture focused, and she is perhaps one of the most vocal, quick moving, strongest champions that we could ask for in Total Worker Health. Her role in not only this meeting, but in the launch of the Total Worker Health Society qualifies her for the 2022 Total Worker Health Star Award. Please thank Dr. Lily Tenney.
Thank you. From one vocal person to another. Thank you so much, Casey. And thank you to all of you. This again does, I think, represent really the work of our team, not just our team, but the entire community. I'm so honored to be a part of this group, and I have to thank Lee Newman, who introduced me to this community and who's really, you know, one of my mentors in life and career. And this has been such an amazing week. I think that we are excited to do this again, ... And I am not in semi-retirement. And so I'm also excited to work together to really see where this grows, to build this community, not just the society, but just the field in general. So thank you so much for this honor. And thank you to the entire team and to all of the attendees.
Great. Thank you, Lily. Yes. Great. That's the formal end to our awards, but we would like to bring a few folks on stage. If we can advance the next slide, or perhaps I can do that. Just a quick thank you to our planning committee, the chairs, the co-chairs, all of the folks you see here met for weeks and weeks. Really, 2-year dedication to the planning of this committee. If any of these folks are here with us, please come on up on stage with us now. We'd also like to invite the symposium hosts, Chris Gaines and Kathy Bass, both from the National Institutes of Health. Please join us up on stage if you're here today. The events team, many of whom smoothed the way for your experience this week, for all of the activities and processes that made this a success, oftentimes behind the scenes and not truly appreciated. Please join me in thanking the events team who's here with us this week. And then lastly, we had a huge number of abstracts, which speaks to the credibility and the volume of great work that was presented here this week. All of these folks made sure the science and the quality of what would be shared met our standards and guaranteed a successful conference from a quality standpoint. Please thank our scientific review committee. And with that, I will see if the person who kicked this meeting off with me, Dr. Lee Newman, would like to say anything in closing.
I said it earlier, you create a canvas and then you invite all your friends to paint on it. And that's what happened here over this week. I can't think of a richer experience. The meaningfulness of our work comes from what everybody who came to this conference shared over the last 4 days. Thank you all and safe travels to wherever you're going. This has been fantastic. Thank you, Casey. Thank you to everybody who contributed. Be well, safe travels. Meeting adjourned.